I mean, I guess it's very. I guess it's quite similar across the board. So the experiences that we hear from our community are quite similar to what is reported. So it's in terms of some of the barriers that they face, it's one around a mixture of diversity and inclusion. So, for example, the lack of women in senior positions means that the culture is not necessarily catered towards women working in a thriving environment. So if we looked at the pandemic, the data was showing that women were still doing, even women who are married with husbands, everybody's in a pandemic. The women were still doing a majority of the house care, childcare. So it's around those barriers in terms of the gender roles. And there's also research. So I worked with the Female Lead. They are another female empowerment charity, and I was part of their advisory board. And they had a big report about women in the workplace, and they found that actually women in the data, they are even more so ambitious, but it's just the workplace that is not, accommodating their ambitions. So it's a bit again around the stereotypes. It's again because a lot of women at home, they're bearing the brunt of childcare. In the pandemic, it's around the visibility. Now we're coming out of it. They've got this kind of presenteeism bias where women might want to now opt more to work at home because of the childcare responsibilities, but yet they're not being as visible. So you don't have that going to after work drinks, or being able to engage with senior stakeholders in person. So they're being sort of left out, during the pandemic and now post pandemic. So now the challenge is, how do women balance hybrid work and still think about ways that they can still progress? And so I think that's a bit more of the diversity and inclusion piece, that leadership are still not considering all of the barriers. And I think also it's around just men stepping up. And it's men in the workplace actually thinking, if you have a child with someone, it's got to start with you. Is the childcare 50-50? Are you helping to clean up the house? How are you helping the mother of your child's career thrive? I think there's a lot of work to be done around how men can support the mothers of their kids, because the data shows women are still doing majority of the childcare, and they're not making babies on their own, is what I'll say. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of barriers. So I think there's been a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing around working parents as well, with our organization as well.
Yeah,